Hey there. Hope you're doing well. I'm super excited for our topic this month or this week, excuse me, and we're going to be talking about why diets fail. This one's really close to my heart because honestly, I was a chronic yo-yo dieter. I was chasing after the next best thing. It's kind of like hearing the next best beauty secret, and I was doing this with diets, and I was continuing to find that I was struggling. I wasn't getting the results, and I was failing faster. Like I would start the diet and then within days, like I was struggling one way or another. And I think some of it was my mindset. I mean, I shouldn't say some of it. All of it was my mindset. And what the diets were really doing, which was they're triggering for me that whole restriction binge cycle that I've talked to you about. I think I felt like so overly critical and so like stuck in a box that I could or couldn't do certain things that it really, impacted like my mindset and ultimately my success. And so I've talked to you about my journey around, finding a program that really focused more on mindset and changing my thoughts and rewiring my brain around weight loss and what that journey looks like, which is exactly what my 16-week program, when we think about what do you get from that, you get freedom with food, you get a change perspective, you're changing your thoughts, that one-on-one coaching to really help you have the tools and resources to feel freedom with food, remove the drama, and lose weight for the last time. And that's what we're doing. We're building habits around that. And we're honestly having to change some of our thought patterns and beliefs that we've had our whole lives around how to lose weight and what the best way to do that. And, I'm not at all saying that we can eat all the things all the time. It does definitely come down to what we put in our mouth and how much. But I want you to have a different mindset when we think about this. And that's why when we talk about why diets fail, it's really important to consider what are the things that have been ingrained in us for diet culture that shape what we think about weight loss and the things that we have to do. So today we're going to talk about why diets fail. And really the goal here is to give you a different perspective on diets and to really hopefully help you start to reconsider, are diets the thing that's going to help you be successful in your weight loss journey? Or do you need to consider a different and better approach to support your wellness, your health, and those long-term weight loss goals and be more effective in that? So I'll go through these. There's just like, first one is this. I'll go through that from a structure perspective. I encourage discussion. So if you have any, post in the comments, follow up with me, let me know your thoughts. I really love the feedback. So the first part is, why diets fail is the promise and pitfalls of diets. So diets promise you that quick and dramatic result, right? So you're gonna see those results very quickly, and they set that expectation. And when you don't, most of the time you don't, have those results quickly, or you can't stick to it, it feels like a broken promise. And it sets our mindset up to think we're a failure, something's wrong with me. I'm going to throw in the towels. I'm going to have the buckets. I'm just going to eat whatever. And we are obviously going to fail then because we have given up, right? But it sets us into these pitfalls that really impact our overall well-being. So with the huge restrictions that we have with dieting, it sets us on this course where you're going to have huge influxes in regards to calorie intake. Because for me, right, I would overly restrict and then I would binge. And so my calorie intake would be low and it would be extremely high. This is not good for our glucose levels and how our body processes sugars. It's not good for our weight. So we see our body, right, with that yo-yo dieting. I'm going to go up and down with my weight and feel that frustration. And so let's promise ourselves that we're not going to fall into those diet pitfalls anymore. The next one around why diets fail is metabolic adaptation. So our bodies are really adaptable. And this works against us in our weight loss attempts. What will happen is when we start to restrict those calories, our body goes, oh, we're going to change our metabolism here and we're going to conserve energy and we're going to make it harder for you to lose weight. So you're working so hard at restricting those calories and your body is saying, nope, you're not giving me enough here. I don't know what I'm going to eat again. And I'm going to start to restrict. And so the idea of eat less, move more works against us. That is the old idea of losing weight, and that doesn't work for us. Now, I'm not telling you to eat thousands and thousands of calories. We have to find what's right for our bodies. But I've been reading the obesity code, and what's really interesting about that is they've had weight loss studies that prove like people that have increased their calorie intake, it's almost like their metabolic rate adjusts to that, and they can still lose weight to a point, right? Again, we're not going to eat 10,000 calories a day. And so our bodies adjust to that, which works against us when we're trying to lose weight and we overly restrict on our calories. So the next one around the pitfalls is, and why diets don't work, is the unsustainability. Sorry. So again, as we know, most diets are overly restrictive, and it makes it difficult for us to maintain that long term. I think in our heads, we think, I'm going to hit this end. I'm going to hit this goal, and then everything I can quit. Right? I've done it. I've arrived, and that's not the case. In all honesty, we have to sustain that. And so we have to find a way that we can lose weight that is sustainable, something that doesn't deprive us and make us feel like we're missing out, make us feel like we can't go to social events and can't have fun, and something that we can live our lives. And so that's why when I coach you and talk to you about losing weight for the last time and accepting that it's going to be slow, is because we're living our life. And so we're eating in a way that we can live for our health, our wellness, and this long-term weight loss and maintain that. And so we have to stop thinking about the drastic things we can do, because those are just not sustainable to us. The next one is around the emotional, like the psychological impact. So when we kind of think about restricting our diets, we can't underestimate what this really does to restricting ourselves, and in the occasional feeling of guilt and shame when we overindulge. It can create unhealthy relationships with food for us, and honestly, it really can contribute to our stress and anxiety. And I personally hadn't really thought about that before, but I totally agree. I also mentioned, this idea of like, I can't go to events, or I'm missing out if I can't have something, or I'm with, maybe I don't want to go to events because I don't feel comfortable eating, or people might make comments about what I'm eating. All those things play into that. We also have, the next one is nutrient deficiencies. So when we eliminate certain groups of food, now, I can agree with you that like sugar isn't something that our bodies need. So I'm not necessarily saying that, but if you're, let's say you're not eating fruit because your diet says don't eat fruit, or maybe you're not eating green vegetables or something like that, you can impact our energy levels, our immune system, and our overall health. And it really makes it harder at times to achieve our goals. And so I want my clients to have an approach with food that is, what do you enjoy eating? How does it make you feel? Let's definitely talk about how we get the right kinds of food in, and what does that look like for you. But I don't want people to overly stress about their food in the beginning, because the big thing is changing our habits and changing our mindset, and that can take some time. Okay, the next one is unrealistic expectations. So these fad diets, media models, they can really, set this expectation that this lifestyle is something that's easily attainable. They don't talk about the difficulties or challenges. They don't talk about it being sustainable, or is it healthy with us? And we start to compare ourselves to unrealistic expectations of people, of standards. And honestly, it can be so demotivating. I mean, it just makes us feel bad about ourselves, and that's not what we want. I want you to have, strong body image. I want you to have confident and the beautiful, sexy woman that you are. I don't want you to be held back by what other people make you think or feel about yourself. The next one is lack of individualization. And I love this one. And honestly, my program speaks specifically to this for you. Every individual is unique. And what works for one person isn't necessarily going to work for somebody else. And so when we think about, oh my gosh, my friend did so well in that program, or look at this program and what the results say, this is a generic, often, it overlooks what we might specifically need in regards to whether it's personal preferences, lifestyles, or how our body might operate and be different from each other. And my program addresses this, because we talk about what are you committing to in regards to your protocol? What's going to work well for you? What's going to work well for your body? What's going to work well for where you're at with your mindset and your weight loss journey? And so it's so important to take that into consideration. The next one that diets, the why diets fail is when we kind of think about lifestyle changes, the diets don't really account for focusing on the temporary things and how that might impact our long-term commitments. So for example, if we think about, okay, is this going to work long-term? Is this sustainable to me? Is it something I can do when I'm on vacation? Is it something that, I can do if I'm traveling for work? And so when we think about, what our lifestyle looks like and how that changes over time, diets don't account for that. They're very rigid. They're very strict. And if you don't stick to them perfectly, you're not going to see the results. And so it's just not, as we talked about, sustainable. The next one is building a positive relationship with foods. Diets don't support that. Right? We're not developing that healthy relationship. We're not thinking about how this nourishes our body, or how does it make us feel. It might even make us think that there's good foods and bad foods. And if I eat the bad foods, I'm a bad person, or I'm bad and I failed and I should have shame and guilt. Not what we want. We want to have an approach that, we're consistent, right? It doesn't mean that we don't have indulgences, but we maybe aren't going to eat the whole box of Oreos. We don't overly restrict and we don't overly indulge, because that's life and food is food, and we have a healthy relationship with it, and we get to make choices. Now, I can't eat all the things I want to eat and lose weight, so I am going to have to make choices, but you choose to make that choice in a positive way that supports your health, how you feel, and your goal. So it's different than what we've been taught around restricting, and I'm telling myself that I can't have that. And the last one why diets fail is more around mindful eating and self-care. So by practicing mindful eating, by managing your stress and taking care of yourself, it really supports that holistic approach to your health. And when we think about our physical and mental well-being, making our weight loss more sustainable and positive ultimately supports that holistic health. And that is what my program does. It's supporting holistic health. It's teaching you the tools and resources, how to change and rewire your thoughts and what your brain thinks, to think differently about food, to think differently about this weight loss journey, and to support you and where you're at. It's customized because the one-on-one coaching gives you that. And so that's what I want you to walk away from when we think about why diets fail, is because it doesn't allow us to feel empowered in our choices for our health. We're really just sticking to something that supposedly works for everybody, even though it doesn't. I want you to think about what sustainable changes you can make in your health. How can you embrace who you are as an individual and nurture that positive mindset? And you can move forward to remove the diet cycle and work towards being a healthier, happier, more balanced life. And I'm here to help you. So love to hear your feedback on our training this week, what questions you have, and start the conversation. Comment or reach out to me directly. And thank you so much for joining me and letting me help support you on your health journey. Have a great day.